So the first interview is with Jeremy Maggs, and he speaks with Dion Chang, who is one of South Africa's foremost thinkers and founder of Flux Trends, about the importance of thinking and finding solutions to the country's problems. Now, Chang noted that many people, not just in South Africa but globally, are often quick to react to issues on social media without taking the time to think deeply about them. He also observed that South Africans are currently in a sense of despair due to the country's many problems, with load shedding the most important one. And he says with this kind of a mindset, according to him, it led to this focus on individual solutions rather than a collective effort to tackle this issue. Moreover, he also noted that he's observed a shift in the country's mood, with more people now becoming interested in renewable energy or other collective solutions to this problem. He believes that this kind of a trend thinking can actually help businesses and people to think ahead of the curve. And Chang also explains that trend thinking is important in business strategy because it helps businesses also to anticipate these problems. And I think there's a lot more business opportunities that have now come up due to this as people are trying to tackle this issue. But he just says that this kind of a trend thinking should be the kind of mentality that people should be having going forward to make sure that we collectively try to improve our efforts. And overall, instead of thinking about problems, we need to start thinking about solutions as South Africans. So the second article is actually an interesting one. The South African government has a tough decision to make. They are seeking legal advice from various stakeholders because of this warrant of arrest that's been issued by the ICC for Vladimir Putin. And it seems that South African government has to sort of weigh up its diplomatic relations with Russia against its international commitment to justice. So they're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place here. Do they arrest or issue an arrest, or do they not issue an arrest and directly go against the ICC's ruling? We see that it's kind of a difficult decision for South Africa to make, and it's actually not the first time that this has happened. South Africa had to deal with the similar situation in 2015 when the ICC had a warrant of arrest issued against the then Sudanese president Omar al-Bashir. South Africa, as a state party to the Rome Statute, was under duty to arrest al-Bashir. However, it decided to let him attend the African Union Summit, which then led to a legal battle with human rights organization that threatened to go to court if Bashir was allowed to attend. In the end, Bashir left the country before the court could actually rule, but the South African government was then later found to have responsibility to cooperate with the ICC. So it's almost like a game of catch me if you can with international justice. And I'm not really sure how South Africa will go about this. So then the next article is just that South Africans are under load shedding, and the government has spent 7 million to purchase generators and inverters for the ministers and their deputies to protect them from power outages. And this is not really a great sight for the government. Not that they've been doing many things great these days, but while the rest of the country has blackouts, then the ministers and the deputies are getting generators and being made sure that they don't have to suffer with the rest of the country. I mean, this article highlights the disparity between the ruling class and the rest of the country. While millions of South Africans have to face frequent blackouts and have to struggle to make ends meet with their governments or with their businesses and things, now suddenly the government officials have uninterrupted power. And this really questions the commitment of government to actually dealing with the load shedding issue and caring about the well-being of the citizens in the country, or whether they just want to make sure that they take care of their own needs. But I don't know. You let me know.